Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. Day 372 of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. During the night there was a missile attack on a residential building in Zaporizhzhia. In the Kharkiv region, 4 people travelling in a car were killed after the vehicle ran into a mine planted by Russian forces. The situation remains difficult near Bakhmut and in the Donetsk Oblast. Our special correspondent, Witold Nawelic, is in Konstantinovka.
Another day of war in Ukraine was marked by missile attacks. One of the Russian missiles hit a residential building in Zaporizhzhia. As a result of the explosion, 3 people were killed there. Many wounded people are in hospitals. People were screaming from under the rubble. We were in shock. We ran out in what we were wearing. A 30-year-old man who was sleeping on a couch was trapped by a concrete slab when the missile hit. For nearly 3 hours, rescuers worked to get him out from under the slab. He is alive and well. Everything is fine. This is not the first missile attack on residential buildings in the city. This may be because the city is located very close to the front line that runs to the south, while the situation is still very complicated in its central section, the Bakhmut area. For the moment, it is not known whether Ukrainian troops have succeeded in widening the corridor. Yesterday, it amounted to less than 4 kilometers. Through this corridor, free of Russian troops, runs the only road connecting Bakhmut with areas controlled by Ukrainian troops. Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolak commented on everything that is happening at the moment on the Russian-Ukrainian border, calling the alleged incursion of Ukrainian soldiers into the territory of the Russian Federation a mere provocation. And this situation is very reminiscent of everything the Russians did, blowing up apartment buildings in Biesłan.
The head of the Office of International Policy in the Chancellery of the President of Poland, Marcin Przydacz, in an interview with Gazeta Polska-Codzienna, spoke about provocations that Russia may continue in various parts of this region. In his opinion, Poland can expect renewed hybrid attacks in the future. In the past, Russia triggered a migrant crisis on the border between Poland and Belarus and is now stepping up its propaganda campaign against Poland. Residential Minister Marcin Przydacz, in an interview with Gazeta Polska-Codzienna, noted that while he is not currently concerned about Poland's security, Russia may soon increase hybrid warfare against Poland. The current situation clearly indicates that Russia's aggressive intentions reach further than just Ukraine. The Kremlin is trying to continue destabilization activities in various parts of the world. Some of this is done through hybrid operations. If the Kremlin continues these actions against Poland, one of their main goals will be a strong division of Polish society. Secretary of State in the Chancellery of the Prime Minister, Stanisław Żaryn, spoke today about the continuing information war. Poland has taken a number of measures that have de facto neutralized the capabilities or greatly reduced the capabilities of Russian intelligence in Poland. I will remind you that we expelled 45 officers of the Russian intelligence service who were operating in Poland under so-called diplomatic cover. Officially they were diplomats, but our information said that de facto they were carrying out intelligence operations. Hybrid warfare is considered to be coordinated action against another state in order to achieve one's own political goals. These can be of various types, whether cyber attacks into key infrastructure elements such as energy systems, road, rail or air traffic control systems. Hybrid warfare, on the other hand, aims to make it as difficult as possible to pinpoint the source of such an attack, so in no way to pinpoint exactly which country was behind such and not another attack. In 2008, Russian propaganda and military actions almost led to the seizure of power in Georgia. At the time, many countries, including Poland, sided with Tbilisi. Today, Georgia, tomorrow, Ukraine, the day after tomorrow, the Baltic states, and later, perhaps, time will come for my country, Poland. According to experts, the conflict has not died down to this day, and the current pro-Ukrainian policy of the Polish government resembles the one pursued by President Lech Kaczynski towards Georgia 15 years ago. It is clear to every commander, whether in Russia, Poland or the United States, that Poland and Ukraine are one strategic area. That is, it is impossible to destroy or conquer Ukraine without hitting Poland. What is at stake, in my opinion, is only various kinds of non-military pressure, whether in the form of migration pressure or cyber attacks.
Takie zakorzenienie,
Such as the routing of the Soviet intelligence services in Poland and having their agents' influence here. Not all of them have been fully recognized and served to destabilize Poland, which is, for obvious reasons, the key to the security of NATO's eastern flank. Currently, more and more disturbing information is coming from Moldova. Pro-Russian circles are openly beginning to attack the current government in Chisinau and are organizing pro-Russian demonstrations. Countries such as Moldova, but also countries in Central and Eastern Europe, may not be fully aware yet that the Russians may strike there as well, especially given that they are not achieving any spectacular successes on the battlefront against Ukraine. Meanwhile, Poland is taking a number of steps to strengthen its security. Soon the steel mill in Stawowo Wola will provide nearly 1,400 new vehicles for the army, including nearly 1,000 Borsuk infantry fighting vehicles, and in Poznan, K2 tanks will be assembled and manufactured. It is here in Poznan that the production of, among other interesting solutions, such as the hydro-pneumatic chassis which is used in the K2 tank, will take place. We have ordered 1,000 tanks. There is a contract with South Korea for that many. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki stresses that the war in Ukraine has forced Poland to increase its military potential. This year, Poland will spend 4% of GDP, or nearly 100 billion zloty, on the military. The war in Ukraine is one of the most important topics of the G20 Foreign Ministers Summit in Delhi, which began today. During the opening ceremony, India's Prime Minister urged that, with a sense of responsibility for the whole world, we should not focus on problems that cannot be solved, but concentrate on those that can be. India is the world's largest democratic country, whose attitude towards the war in Ukraine is causing disappointment in the West. Although India expresses disapproval of Russian actions, it has not punished Russia with sanctions and has abstained from voting on the war.
We are meeting at a time of deep global divisions. As Foreign Minister, it is but natural that your discussions are affected by the geopolitical tensions of the day. We all have our positions and our perspectives on how this tension should be resolved. However, at the leading economies of the world, we also have a responsibility toward those who are not in this room.
In considering these issues, we may not always be of one mind. In fact, there are some matters of sharp differences of opinions and views. Yet, we must find common ground and provide direction, because that is what the world expects of us.
Backstage at the conference, there was an unexpected 10-minute conversation between United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Blinken called on Russia to rejoin the New START nuclear weapons treaty. He called for the release of former US Marine Paul Whelan from detention in Russia and stressed the continued support of the United States and its allies for Ukraine. This was the first meeting between the two men since the Russian invasion of Ukraine began last year. Previously, both delegations had insisted that such a conversation could not and would not happen.
At the heart of that system, and that the system was designed to uphold. And so that is a challenge. And we see that playing out as well, for example, at the United Nations Security Council, where we have two countries in particular that tend to block the attempted actions of the Council to address some of the most urgent global concerns. On the other hand, what we've seen, I think, speaking very powerfully and eloquently, is the multilateral system in a variety of ways. 3/4 of it coming together at the UN General Assembly to condemn Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine and to insist on a just and durable peace. That's the multilateral system. And we see it here today at the G20, thanks to India's leadership, as I said just a moment ago.
European Union delegates have announced that they will not support the final statement unless there is a condemnation of the conflict. Earlier, Russia, along with China, put up an objection on the issue at a meeting of finance ministers. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.